Without my seed, you can't have any kids, Drizzle Drizzle.
Oh, God. Okay. Let's see what's going on.
We're done with the patriarchy and this old archaic way of doing things where we're supposed to provide and protect for you, where we're supposed to be willing to risk and give our lives.
Okay, I already need to stop you. I'm totally fine if men are done with the patriarchy because I am too, but my dude, who do you think created the patriarchy? Who was in charge at the time? Who is still largely in charge across the world, barring certain societies? The big reason that women historically have needed to be provided for, at least in the US, is because men wouldn't let women vote. Men wouldn't let women have bank accounts. Basically, women had to get permission to do everything. And I know some men are going to be like, well, women should have fought back. Why weren't you smarter? But we did. When women fought for the vote, we were put in jail. And when some women refused to eat, they were force-fed by sticking a tube down their throat. When women tried to break into male jobs, we were barred. Even today, sometimes when a woman tries to work on something like a construction site, she is harassed to the point that she has to leave. When women tried to take part in activities that for some reason were only male, we were attacked. And that brings us to, we're not gonna protect you. My guy, from whom do women need protection most of the time? If men stopped raping and abusing us and in general treating us like shit, we'd need a whole lot less protection. So maybe talk to your fellow men and ask them to lessen your protection workload, because women shouldn't need to be protected in the first place. You guys did this to yourselves.
Listen, we don't need to bring anything to the table because we are the table.
You're a table? Cool. So I can eat my dinner on you and spill stuff on you and have kids do crafts on you? Oh, and speaking of children.
Without my seed, you can't have any kids, Drizzle Drizzle. So what you gonna do about that?
Oh, honey, we don't want your seed. We really don't. You know the child-free movement you're all screaming about and saying that it'll never work because all men want children? Anyway, yeah, we don't care if you give us your seed or not. In fact, some women like me have rendered it impossible for anything to be done with your seed, even if it enters our body. So no matter what I do in the bedroom that involves seed, no baby will be made. And now I never want to use the word seed ever again. But of course, plenty of women and AFAB people do still want kids. So in answer to your, what are you gonna do about it? I present to you science! By immersing stem cells harvested from men's bone marrow in a cocktail of chemicals that mimic the environment of the testes, Niernia and his team turned the stem cells into immature sperm. The experiment marks the first time that any non-reproductive human tissue has been transformed into gametes? If the cells can be grown into mature sperm, the technique would allow men without functioning sperm or even testes to father children, but Niernia says the technique could enable women to have a biological child with two mothers and no father. Their offspring would always be daughters, though, because sperm made from a female cell would always carry an X instead of a Y chromosome. Weirder still, a woman could conceivably use sperm made from her bone marrow to inseminate her own eggs. Science. What are you gonna do about that?
We are in our soft guy era. I need to get my beard taken care of every Tuesday, so I'm gonna need you to go ahead and send $75 to my barber via Cash App every Tuesday before I get there so that I can get my hair taken care of.
Okay, so this is what I don't understand about men like this. I'm assuming he's given this example because he has dated a woman or women who expected him to pay for some aspect of their beauty regimen. But if you don't want to pay for it, you don't have to. Moreover, if you don't like dating a woman who expects you to pay for those things, you don't have to. I know those types of women exist, I have met them, but you don't have to be with them. For the amount of women out there who would expect a man to pay for parts of her beauty routine, there are also at least that amount of women who either don't care about that stuff or would never expect a man to pay for it. The only time my haircuts have been paid for was when I was a child. As an adult, whether it's my very simple haircut that I have now or when I dyed the bottom half of my hair purple for a little bit, all of that came out of my own pocket. And I would expect it to because it's my hair, and also I have a full-time job, so why wouldn't it? Now in a second, he's going to complain about a woman being a stay-at-home wife. But again, my dude, if you don't want a woman who doesn't want to work, why are you dating them? These men all make it seem like they've got scads of women clamoring to date them. So why are you choosing women who annoy you this much? And if all women annoy you, why don't you just be single?
Oh, Drizzle Drizzle. When you get your taxes from working hard all year while I stay at home and play PlayStation, I need you to give me the whole amount so I can flip it for us.
Yikes. Sir, in this day and age, very few couples can even afford to have one half of that couple stay home. And often, if the woman of the couple isn't employed, it's usually because she's taking care of their children. That is work, whether you want it to be or not. And these days, the reason that most couples with kids have one of the parents stay home and take care of the kids is because if they sent their kids to daycare, pretty much all of one person's paycheck would be eaten up by those fees, so they just cut out the middlemen and they stay home and take care of their kids. And if you don't consider that work, sir, you shouldn't be with someone who wants to be a stay-at-home mom, because that is going to cause a lot of issues in your relationship. And they will, because you compare staying home and taking care of kids to you staying home and playing PlayStation. But hey, if it's so easy, why don't more men do it? Oh, it's because men get paid more because of the patriarchy that you said you're going to eschew. So, stay-at-home dad?
Drizzle Drizzle. We're no longer being providers and protectors and buying into the patriarchal system of letting you guys get on the boat first if the sink is shipping.
Damn, I hate it when my sink is shipping.
We're done with those days. We are equal now, so we will get on the boat based upon whoever is the strongest.
Now, the whole basing things on strength thing does mean that men normally would come out ahead, because like weaklings like me exist. But the problem, sir, is that there are some women who are physically stronger than some men. And anytime they demonstrate this, men get mad. But if we're equal, as you say, and a woman happens to be physically stronger than a man, you'll let her get on the lifeboat when your sink is shipping, right? Because equality.
Drizzle Drizzle. All right? So don't ask us to do anything, provide anything. If we go out to eat, 50-50, Drizzle Drizzle. If you have another kid by another man, 50-50, Drizzle Drizzle.
Yeah, again, you're just showing your ass and your bad taste here, because since I started dating in like 2013, I've always gone 50-50 with my partners. Now, my current partner and I don't split each bill. We just pay for every other date. And before you accuse me of making sure I only pay for the cheaper dates, that doesn't happen. I don't know what to tell you. Sir, if you choose to be with a woman who is sleeping with other people and gets pregnant by them, that's a you problem. Barring being abused by said woman, because men can be victims of DV as well, there's nothing keeping you there. Anytime a woman gets cheated on, men always say, why didn't you pick better? You brought this on yourself. Why wouldn't that apply to you also? And no one I know has had the issue of their partner getting pregnant by someone else. And my friend group is pretty diverse in age, race, sexuality, and marital status. And that's not me saying it doesn't happen. I know it does. My point is there is a large percentage of the population that has not experienced this, and you can easily be one of them. You don't have to date someone who cheats on you. You don't have to date a woman who asks you for however much money to get her nails done or her hair done. You don't have to date a woman who refuses to work. You are in control here. None of this has to be in your life, and that includes women in general, because you really seem to hate them.